Derek had never seen a man bleed that much before. It was a cold Tuesday morning when he was driving his old pickup to his warehouse job, the kind that barely paid enough to keep the lights on. His daughter Emily, only 4 years old, sat in the back seat humming quietly with her elephant plushie. They were just turning onto the highway when Derek saw it, a mangled motorcycle on the shoulder, steam rising from the twisted engine, and a man sprawled next to it, unmoving. Most drivers sped past. But not Derek. He pulled over, unbuckled Emily, and told her to stay in the truck. As he approached, he saw the man's leather vest, patched, bloodied, with a name tag that read Rico. Derek didn't know anything about biker clubs, but he knew what dying looked like. And Rico was close. Derek called 911, took off his shirt, and pressed it against the gash on Rico's abdomen, whispering that help was on the way. The biker, fading fast, muttered something about his brothers and a little girl. Derek stayed with him until the ambulance arrived. Then, without waiting for thanks or questions, he returned to his truck and drove off, late for work but feeling like he'd done the right thing. The next day, he was fired. His boss didn't even try to hide it. "We can't afford delays, Derek. You left a delivery waiting. I don't care if you were saving someone or saving the world. Business is business." Derek stood in the empty locker room, holding a box with his few belongings, wondering how he'd explain this to Emily. He was a single dad. Her mom had left when Emily was just a baby, and since then, it had been just the two of them. No safety net. No family. No backup plan. The next few days were brutal. Bills piled up. He skipped meals so Emily could eat. He pretended to be excited when she drew him pictures with crayons and said things like, "It's okay, Daddy. We'll win the lottery." He smiled through it all, but inside, the weight was crushing him. Then, one morning, he heard the rumble. It started as a low vibration on the street, then grew louder and louder. Derek opened his front door and froze. 40 motorcycles lined the street, powerful, chrome beasts glinting in the sunlight. Men in black leather vests, tattoos, and sunglasses sat astride them, unmoving. At the front was a silver-haired man with a scar down his cheek. He climbed off his bike, walked straight to Derek, and extended his hand. "You're the guy who saved Rico." Derek nodded slowly, shielding Emily behind him. The man smiled. "I'm Brick, president of Rico's chapter. He made it, thanks to you. He's in the hospital, but he wanted us to make sure you knew what you did meant something." Derek didn't know what to say. His throat tightened. Emily peeked out from behind his leg, wide-eyed at the sea of bikers. "We heard you lost your job because of it," Brick continued. "Unacceptable." The bikers got off their bikes and, one by one, started unloading things: groceries, boxes, envelopes. One man handed Derek an envelope stuffed with cash. Another set up a barbecue in the driveway. Within an hour, the quiet neighborhood had turned into a roaring celebration. They didn't just bring food and money. They brought hope. One biker, a mechanic, offered Derek a job at his garage. Another, a single mom who rode with the group, offered to babysit Emily during shifts. They patched up his leaky roof, fixed the flat tires on his truck, and promised him he'd never be alone again. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the trees and the bikes started to roll away, Brick pulled Derek aside. "We may be rough around the edges," he said, "but we live by a code. You helped one of ours without asking for anything in return. That's family now." Derek nodded, unable to speak. He watched Emily laugh with some of the bikers, climbing onto a parked motorcycle, holding her elephant toy like a little queen. He didn't have to explain the job loss to her. Not anymore. Because now, they had a family bigger than anything he could have imagined. The message. Sometimes the world punishes the good, but true kindness never goes unnoticed. When you help someone simply because it's right, without expecting anything in return, that's when miracles happen. Derek lost a job, but found a tribe. He sacrificed stability for a stranger, and gained a brotherhood. One act of compassion lit a fire that brought light to his darkest hour. And that's the power of doing good, it always comes back, louder and stronger than you could ever expect.